us and welcome to today's English lesson. So, amazing job on writing your newspaper reports. I was really pleased to see how hard you worked on those. So today we're going to share some of what you did, and then we're going to look at what went well and what would be even better if you were going to do it again next time. Okay, so today what I have done is I have saved some of just a little selection of your newspaper reports. Please don't worry if yours is not here. I have looked at all of them. You did an absolutely amazing job. So this is William's. I was super impressed with William's work. Let's have a look through it and I'll talk you through what he's done. Okay, let's start with his headline. Hill turns to hole. I really like that headline. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. So look, we can see it a bit clearer. And William has done his own illustrations, which I also really like. Hill turns to hole. So we've got a good alliteration in his headline there, which is I really like. Reports are rushing in of a giant hole in the valley being dug by 3 local farmers, Boggis, Bunce and Bean, who are apparently trying to dig out a fox. Reports show they tried earlier this week to shoot the animal and missed, but injured the fox. Their first digging attempt with spades failed. I really like the way William has referred to reports are rushing in. It sounds like a really professional journalist has written this. That's really good. Well done. And it's also written in the third person, written in the past tense. Good job. Right, look at that drawing. That's brilliant. I knew exactly what that was when I saw it. It's absolutely fantastic. Later, the 3 farmers were spotted with mechanical diggers tearing apart the hill, still determined to get the fox. I love that. That's really good emotive language, tearing apart the hill. That's a really impressive way of saying that they were ripping it apart. They were continuously digging, damaging and breaking the hill. An emotive language in a newspaper article gets people hooked and keeps people wanting to read and starting to feel sympathy for the foxes. It influences the reader's opinion of who you're reporting about and the story that you're reporting about. Crowds of local people gathered to see the sight and found the trio of farmers cross, angry and fuming with rage. Oh, that's a fantastic description there. Trees were tumbling and the noise was deafening. That is a little bit of alliteration there as well. Trees were tumbling. Great phrase. And the noise was deafening. And here we've got a quote. Boggis, Bunce and Bean are maniacs, one villager said. And I love the correct punctuation of that speech. That little exclamation mark there really adds to the drama as you read it. Really good job. Okay. So moving down, latest reports show that the 3 farmers have set up a tent camp and are starving the fox out. They have started a round-the-clock watch. Look at that hyphenated word, round-the-clock watch. And the hill is surrounded by over 100 armed men holding guns and flashlights and other horrible weapons. Fantastic use of detail from the text there. Well done. You really read that text carefully to pick out those key facts. And a fantastic little drawing of their camp there. Who will win, fox or man? I love that you finished that on a closing question. A couple of other people did that. Quite a few of you added a little rhetorical question at the end, a question that didn't require an answer, but required the reader to kind of think what their response ought to be. So absolutely fantastic job, William. Top notch. Right, here's another example I want to show you, and this is Stellas. So, down went the tractors, down went Foxy. There was a tremendous commotion when the beastly local farmers, Boggis, Bunce and Bean, started shoveling and digging a crater near a ginormous tree. Now, I like the font that you've used here, Stella, for this part of your text because it looks like an actual newspaper font. Really, really good. I love the description. Tremendous commotion, and your picture matches what you're writing about. Boggis, Bunce and Bean started shoveling and digging a crater. You've got some really good language in there. Well done. Okay. Boggis, Bunce and Bean kept shoveling day and night. We had the feeling that they were trying to catch a family of foxes because one of them said, "Come on, we'll get the foxes in the end." Brilliant quote there. Well done. They kept on digging day and night until we thought they had enough, but we were wrong. They were just bringing some tractors instead of shovels. We got some capital letters there. Why do you think Stella's put that word in capital letters? Any ideas? It's to really emphasize that word. Great job. Well done. Before they had even started, a huge crowd had gathered to watch them dig. We thought the farmers might be getting tired, and we were right because later on, Bunce was heard to mutter, "Who had this stupid idea anyway?" Bean thought differently because he said to Bunce, "Do you want to catch that little thief?" Really good quotes from the text there, from the characters, gives you an insight into what those people were thinking and saying and how they were behaving. Great job, Stella. Okay, let's look at Harry's. Harry, I absolutely loved your work. And Harry admitted that his dad accidentally deleted his first version of this and he had to rewrite it. So awesome job. Well done. Good effort. Fox family fear for their lives. Great headline. I see that and I love the fact that it's in capital letters because it really stands out. The alliteration gets me hooked and it makes me want to read more. And it's telling me that somebody's trying to damage these foxes. These foxes are in danger. So I want to know why. Last Tuesday, 3 farmers were seen digging a huge hole to try and catch a family of foxes. I love the fact that you've added date in there and a day of the week. I think it's really important. It adds a bit of specific detail. It's attention to detail and facts, which give credibility to your article. So if you've got dates and facts and figures and things like that, it makes people really believe that what you're telling them, what you're reporting is true. Good thing to include. They started with spades and couldn't dig any more. They had another plan. Great little drawing there. I love the use of ellipses there. It's leading on to the next paragraph. Then it was to use gigantic mechanical diggers. The use of gigantic there really helps the reader to understand the scale and size of the diggers that they brought in. Boris, that should be Boggis, not Boris, Bunce and Bean were all spotted digging all day long by people that came from the village. Mr. Bobby laughed and said, the farmers are mad to try and catch the foxes. The hole is like a volcano. I love you've got a quote there from a local witness, Mr. Bobby, the local witness. That's fantastic because that's you taking on your understanding of the story and adding in some detail of your own because that wasn't explicitly mentioned in the story necessarily. The farmers have been spotted camping outside the hole. They seem to be taking in turns watching the hole. Are the foxes going to be okay? Should we help the foxes? Ooh, if this was in a newspaper article I was reading, I would feel like I'd want to contact the newspaper and really find out what was happening next. I'd want to read the next update on the story. So really good little closing cliffhanger there. Okay. Fleur's work next. Awesome job, Fleur. I've got some great little pictures that you found here, Fleur. Different to everybody else. So Fleur has used some pictures from the movie of Fantastic Mr. Fox. Frightened foxes flee, fuming farmers. Still love that headline, it's great. On Monday last week, again, look, that's really good, adding specific time, facts, detail. 3 local and mean farmers. So the fact that she's used the word mean there to describe them gives you an idea of how the reporter feels about those characters, and that automatically starts you as a reader to feel the same. It evokes the same emotions in you. So I think, yeah, I don't like these farmers. I'm not going to like them. Named Boggis, Bunce and Bean excavated, great word, that means dug out, a crater in the fields near the woods. They were trying to dig up a family of foxes that had been sneaking onto their farms and stealing their frozen goods, such as bacon, geese, chicken and cider. Now, this is a really important addition, actually, to the news report because it's giving you a bit of background as to why the foxes were there, why were the farmers digging them up in the first place. And actually, it probably makes you think it's not black and white. It's not the farmers are bad and the foxes are good. It's not black and white because actually the foxes were still stealing from the farmers. So that starts to blur your understanding and your sympathies a little bit as a reader. Really good addition there, Fleur. The 3 farmers have dug day and night and they still haven't found the fox. They're getting angry, furious and livid. Words. I like the power of 3 there, where you've got 3 in a row. That makes it more powerful, really adds emphasis. The 3 farmers have placed 108 men around every side of the hill so the fox doesn't escape. Good fact and attention to detail there. The farmers have now switched from shovels to mechanical diggers, which will speed them up. In conclusion, the farmers still haven't found the family of foxes and they're getting angry, annoyed, livid and impatient. Good job. Lots of emotion stirred up in Fleur's news report there, but also lots of facts. I've come away from it knowing a lot of facts and some important information. Let's have a look at Cyril's. What did you come up with, Cyril? Fox family fear for their lives. Nice capital letter at the start of every word in your headline. That's nice. 2 days ago, good fact, 2 days ago, the Fox family was attacked by Boggis, Bunce and Bean. The foxes were nearly killed by the farmers and their mechanical diggers. Boggy, Bunce and Bean first used shovels, and then they started using mechanical diggers, which dug a big fat crater. I like the way you've built up the action that they do over time there, using first and then. Really good. Boggis told the reporter that they got the fox's tail. They've got some details there. This meant that the foxes were safe or not safe, because they might have been killed by the sharp point of the diggers. And at this point, your reporter doesn't know. Oh dear, what a cliffhanger for your readers. They don't know what's going to happen next. Good job, Cyril. Right, Avina. Lovely drawings in Avina's newspaper. Well done, Avina. The foxes there. Fox family fears. We all fear for them, and they are living in fear. 3 farmers named Boggy, Bunce and Bean have been destroying a fox's family house with shovels last week, and the foxes ran out as their house became haunted. The 3 farmers destroyed their house for a new farm to build. Fox's old house was broken by the farmers. It absolutely was. Well, you're absolutely right. And there's the tree that was going to be knocked down. The foxes tried to run away from their old house because when they woke up and realised that their house was broken and Mr. Fox's tail was bleeding. Oh, look, there's poor Mr. Fox, where he got injured when they shot his tail off. Oh, dear, and his tail's bleeding. Really good job, Avina, and I can see that you've really understood the story well. Good. Excellent work. Okay, this is Ava's. Angry farmers on the hunt. Great drawings that you've chosen to include there. Last week on May 1st, a fantastic detail to open. I know exactly when it happened. Good job. 3 very mean and angry farmers called Boggy, Bunce and Bean were after revenge. Oh, good word. Because they've had enough of cheeky Mr. Fox stealing their livestock. Livestock are their live animals, their chickens. So well done, because you've also then included a reason why. You've explained for the reader why those farmers were getting so cross and trying to dig the field up. Boggy, Bunce and Bean got their 3 machines that were like murderous, brutal-looking monsters. That is an amazing sentence. Ready to dig a huge and enormous hole to get Mr. Fox and his family. They were very hungry and scared as the mechanical shovels got closer. Really good. Mr. Fox and his family had nowhere to hide. They were all very hungry, but their homes were surrounded by hundreds of men with gun and weapons. Will the angry farmers get their revenge, or will Mr. Fox get away in time? Ooh, dun, dun, dun. I love that question at the end, that last sentence. It's great because it leaves you as a reader wishing that you knew what happened next. It's a really good thing to include. Well done, Ava. Right, let's look at Hannah's. Furious Fox frantically digs to save family. Yesterday, farmers Boggy, Bunce and Bean had dug a deep hole, like a crater of a volcano, on a mission to dig out the foxes using murderous, brutal-looking monsters. I like, she's put this in quotation marks here. This is how the mechanical diggers are described in the text, isn't it? Really good. Well done. Bean had an idea to dig the family of foxes out using mechanical devices. They left Boggis to guard the tunnel so the foxes don't escape, whilst Bean and Bunce fetched their monster machines. Bunce and Bean returned with their tractors and frantically began to dig deep to capture the foxes. Well done. Most of that is in the past tense. Really good job. Just got that word don't, which is not in past tense, but the rest of it is well done. Hours went by and the farmers still had no sight of the foxes. Soon the villagers came out to see what was going on, and the farmers laughed at the madness of the 3 farmers. I love that. They laughed at the madness of the 3 farmers. What would have been lovely there to add into that would have been a nice quote from one of the villagers. If you'd have quoted what they said, that would have added a little extra bit there. The farmers spent the whole day digging, so you're telling the story in order. Well done. By 6 p.m. it was beginning to get dark, so they stopped digging and decided to camp outside the hole so the foxes could not escape. The farmers tried to trick the foxes with the smell of yummy cooked chicken, but the foxes were too clever. Good, well done. Really good article. Excellent job, Hannah. Hannah's was the last one that I wanted to share with you. So let's have a look at what went well and what would be even better if, because it's really important once we finish a piece of work that we evaluate how successful was it and what could we do better next time. Okay, so let's change my font first of all. Go for a nice, I haven't got letter join on my laptop, so I can't use that, but I'll go for That one I'll do. Okay, so what I really liked, what went well, was that you used facts from the story. So you all read the story really well and understood what was in the story really well. Should we bullet point these? I think that would be nice, wouldn't it? Let's see if we can figure out how to do that. There we go. So you all used facts from the story. So you weren't making up, there was nothing in there that didn't actually happen in Roald Dahl's story. You had great description because you were including really good adjectives to get across emotion. That was fantastic. I liked the closing questions that some of you used. It was a really nice sort of cliffhanger at the end, and it made the reader, left you as a reader thinking at the end about what you'd written. I loved your alliteration in your headlines. Absolutely fantastic. Worked really, really well. And some of you started to use it through some of your writing as well. It's a very good writing technique to include. And I loved your pictures. So you all found pictures that were relevant, or you drew your own pictures, which was great. I liked the dates. You were being specific with dates and times and details. Dates, specific. That was really helpful because it gave credibility to your story as a reporter. If you have those facts, it gives credibility to the story. Well done. I liked that you wrote in the third person, and most of you managed to stay in the past tense for most of the time. Okay, so what would be even better if, let's change this to purple. Why not? So it'd be even better if we had done a little bit more proofreading, because there were some spelling and typing errors in some people's work, and that's really common. We do that a lot, don't we? But before you finish sign off your finished piece of work, it's really important that you proofread it, check it for spelling, but also punctuation to make sure you haven't missed any capital letters, full stops, question marks, exclamation marks, that your speech is punctuated correctly. So proofreading is really, really important. Also, quotes. So those of you who remember to include quotes did a really good job, and you had some really good quotes there. And I do apologise because I don't think quotes were in my writer's checklist, were they? So I apologise for that. But quotes needed to be included, really. It was in our list of things that would make a successful newspaper report. So those of you who did have quotes in, punctuated them correctly. So if you didn't have quotes in, next time try and include quotes and punctuate them correctly. The font size and type in a few people's work was different. So we had one box that had really big text and one box that had small text, or different types of font in each one. It would be even better and more realistic if you use the same font size and the same type of font across all of the writing in one piece. Okay, but other than that, you guys did an amazing job. You absolutely smashed it. I hope you enjoyed doing that activity. I certainly enjoyed reading them. And what I will try and do is see if I can post the newspaper articles that you've done to a shared board, message board on Purple Mash, so that you'll be able to look at each other's. And next week, we're going to move on to looking at the next part of the story and to thinking about Badger and what happened to Mr. Badger and his family. We're going to try and plot a story map, like a timeline of what happened to him, because it's only mentioned very briefly. It's not very explicitly mentioned. So we're going to try and unpick a bit of that language from Roald Dahl. I'm going to try and mention that, pad that out a little bit and try and figure out what actually was Badger doing while the foxes were trying to escape. And then we're going to be writing a diary of Fox's adventure, Badger's adventures, while he was trying to keep himself and his family safe from the farmers. Okay, so that's it for today. What I would like you to do is to make sure that you go back and look at your piece of work that you did. If there's any changes or edits that you want to make, you can. You could proofread it, check your punctuation. If there's any improvements that you think you could make based on this work that we've done now, then absolutely have a look at that. See if you can improve your writing. See if there's anything that you missed off that you think you could do even better. Okay, well done. Thanks very much, Willow. See you later. Bye.